some of the main things you've been working on in the last week that you're looking for in the exhibition?
You know, it's layers. You don't have a meaningful game for 7 months in college soccer. So you've got to bring back in the things that you know maybe it's hard for them to be addressing when they're in, quote, the off season and certainly the summer. And so some of those things are just good defending tendencies in defending your own 18, good offensive tendencies, attacking the other team's 18, and ultimately then you got to get back to, okay, what are we doing between the 18s? But it's got to start in the two boxes, because if you can't defend in your own 18, you can't attack the other team's 18, you're in trouble anyway, no matter how pretty you play, no matter how many passes you connect. That's where we start. And then as you could see today was more between the 18s, what are we doing to hold the ball, keep the ball, transition, all those things. So we're for sure a work in progress, but it's been a good start to the preseason for sure.
Any positions that you're still trying to figure out who's going to slide in there as a starter? You kind of focused on building that depth, and it doesn't matter who's kind of in there.
You know, I think each line has some good competition, and the competition of the players is really tight. Certainly losing Hannah Anderson, Cassie Taylor in the back after them being such stalwarts forever has opened up a spot to compete. Who's going to play next to Molly? I think all of our forwards being healthy has made that a tough competition. And then in the middle of the field with Jopic coming and Sophie Neves coming, and you know, the whole opportunity for transfers to make their mark, the midfield's got competition. So I think there's a few you could probably pencil in. We certainly need Sam back at full strength, and we're so happy to have her and Kylie back. So you can look at those as people that probably know their way into the lineup. But there's a lot of competition going on, and it's been healthy, feisty, spicy at times, but healthy. You know, we don't take our helmets off and beat each other up, but we do get after it nonetheless.
You mentioned Eleanor a moment ago, but I mean, we could hear you yelling, not necessarily at her, but I heard her name projecting towards her. What does she need to improve on, and what have you liked in this past week you've seen from her?
We're just trying to encourage Eleanor to be the absolute dominant center back that she was when she left high school, and we wanted her here from the very beginning, and to just make her, I think, help her see how perfect her skill set is to fit here. And that her game will be enhanced by who she's surrounded by, and we're going to be better by who she can become. She's tough on the tackle, great in the air. Her distribution is excellent out of the back. As is M. You know, the other transfer came in from Miami. Her distribution's fabulous. So we're just trying to get both of those center backs to just be comfortable and understand that it's okay if it doesn't go right. Well, we're here to get it right. And we're not in the Big 12 yet. We're not in the regular season yet. And so, you know, mistakes are going to happen.
You mentioned the center backs there. You mentioned, a week ago, that was one of the positions that you have most competition. Do you get anything out of this past week, or do you think you get more watching them against Denver?
Because we haven't seen, especially Em and Eleanor, live in 2 years, we got a lot out of this preseason. Because we haven't had Kylie for a year, we're like, oh, welcome back. You know, Sam, welcome back. So it has been a great start for getting to view these guys. But yeah, of course, you play against somebody else with a different logo, somebody you're not afraid to clatter into, someone that's not afraid to guard you right, you know, to come after you. Yes, it's enhanced to know what you've got. That's real competition.
How do you plan on divvying up the minutes to see all of you girls against Denver?
I'm going to go into ChatGPT and rank each player at each position and ask it to tell me what's the best way. You know, there's two parts. There's the physical part. We don't want to overplay some that are just rejoining us, and although they'd love to play a whole game in Denver, the game doesn't count, even though we certainly want to get a result. But so there's the physical side. And then there's the side of there's a lot of people certainly deserve a chance to fight over it. So if you're super fit, there's no physical reasons that you can't play more. Maybe some of those get more minutes as we get ready for San Diego State. You can't deny that that's the bigger of the two games, but we do want to have a good start in the preseason. So that means a lot of people are going to play to show us what they can do.
Do you have anybody on limited minutes right now?
On limited? You know, I think that varies day to day. Like, honestly, not returning from injury, serious limited minutes. Just she's at 90%. Let's not run her into the ground before we go to Denver. Those type of limited minutes. But it's almost auto limit because we have players that need to get out there. So, you know, Sam's going to play 25 minutes and be, you know, she's going to give me the face when she comes off. I'm going to be like, you haven't played in a year, kid. We need you in California. And then she'll go back on. But that's kind of how it is this time of year. And it's unlimited subs in preseason. So we do have that freedom.
You mentioned Molly playing center back. You have moved her around a lot in her career. Is she going to be more kind of stable center back this year, or what's your?
Well, we need her to stabilize us at center back for sure, because she's so technical and such a good 1v1 defender and a good leader. We need her to be that stable force. But I'll be straight with you. She's one of the best holding mids in the country. And so it's hard, you know, I'm like, do you have a twin? You know, is there some way we can have two of you? But fortunately for us, we have great holding mids, so we can leave her in the back. And all the veteran holding mids that are returning, Yapich, who came in from Virginia, and G, who's a freshman, they can play holding mid. So we feel pretty good about our holding mid spot, although that's one of those places that has a ton of competition as well.
And you talked about some of the transfers and the freshmen, but what are your expectations for some of these sophomores like Millie and Alana that got some time last year?
Just to demonstrate that they get it now. You know, there's a lot of grace given to the freshmen. Seniors give me a hard time. You're so nice to the freshmen. Well, yeah, because you know we can't hold it against them what they don't know. But once you've had a year of knowing A, what the standard is, B, what our system requires, you know, and you got to stay on script. These players get a lot of freedom as long as they understand our defensive concepts. They've got guardrails on movements and fitness standards. But when they get the ball, there is a lot of freedom once they understand how the system works. And it's not like magic or uber complicated, but you do have to learn it. And so from the sophomores, we're just looking for that maturity that they've definitely demonstrated.
I know you guys had the motto "Empty your tank" last year. Is there a motto you're going with this year?
Yeah, there's something. You know, we don't create it. We don't like the we don't like the not organic sayings. So that became something the girls were saying, or one of the coaches had said, and they jumped on it, and then it just became. So I don't know what the stamp is they've made this year that they put on their leg, and I'm not totally sure. I know that Nick Hallam, our assistant, put hashtag ball in 25, so just balling. You know, we're really clever like that. But and the girls like that, so that'll be used. That came from the staff, but they'll come up with some of their own stuff, and you'll probably see it and hear it as we get along this season.
Obviously, they've been part of the program for a while, but how long does it take to get Kylie and Sam back in the flow with a different group of people? And the reason I say that is last year, you know, Ashley had to deal with a lot of new people around her. So it not that it was difficult for her, but clearly she wasn't scoring because she was working with a different group. How quickly do you think those two can get used to a different group around them?
Well, they're both high IQ people, and Kylie's way easier because she's playing on the flank. Everything is to the inside of her, and she knows we have a strategic plan to get her the ball. And at worst case, she just gets down the line, and we've got to find her. And the team knows we strategically play that way. Yeah. With Sam, it's a little more complex because I think it's more up to the team to find Sam and trust her to have the ball. And once these young players give her the ball a few times, and we're like, great job, Emma, give it to Sam, that she continues to give it to Sam. But Sam needs the ball more than we've gotten it to her so far. So she'll have to be patient there as we learn her. And also she's getting fitter and stronger every day. So it's a little more complicated for Sam than it is for Kylie.
Can you speak a little bit to the trip to Denver and kind of the tradition that's become for this program?
You know, I obviously started my coaching career there, love my ties there. We have a lot of great players that have come from there. A Hall of Famer going in this year from Denver, Jalen Hinkle's from there. There's just a ton. I better not start naming them all or I'll forget somebody. And we've got a crew of Colorado kids here. They love it in Lubbock. They love the scenario here. They can drive here. It's just been a big recruiting hotbed for us. So we love going there. And then it became a thing where it's a great way to break camp. You know, we've been here, although the heat hasn't been bad, it's been typical Texas. So we get to Colorado and play a really good team. And we invite all the parents, and they can come to training, and then we reserve a restaurant for the whole crew. I think we've got over 100 people coming to the post-game party, which is really neat. We take over an entire spot downtown. So it's just a great way to kick it off, and we've embraced this, and we're thankful that DU's always up for playing the game. And they've outplayed us before in this game, and we've outplayed them in this game, and we've tied in this game, and it's pretty intense. It actually is a way to get a preseason game that feels like a real game, which is rare.
Which restaurant?
Something Bar and Tap. And obviously the bar and tap part is for the parents.
Gotcha.
But it's a grill, some kind of grill and tap, that's it. Food's great. I can't think of the name, but I can text it to you if you really want to go. We'd love to have you.
Anything else?